A Tale of Two Bamboos. This is the very first plant I put in here. This is a timber bamboo. Very thick. Look at how big and thick it is. Also produces these little things around it, which actually can be kind of useful. I can make wet, is that a word? And then flatten these, and you can actually use them in the kitchen as a place to put like your dirty spatula or whatever, or ladle, and then throw them out. So they can become a disposable object. Maybe I could even, if I figure out some ways to do it, figure out a way to make kind of a temporary little bowl thing and have food to go in a disposable container that's totally biodegradable. And then they just toss that in an organic spot and it rots. But this is a great building material here. Look, it has weird white shit on it. I don't know the scientific name of this bamboo, and I don't care. Actually, it would be nice to know. But you'll notice like this piece right here, the one that's all covered in white shit, is new. And so that goes up there. Also, I think you have to cook them. The roots of it, the new shoots. Maybe they're the new shoots. There's a new shoot coming up right there. You have to cook them, but I think that they're edible. And this one's had a long time here. This one's like, 20 years old. But what we found is that we can easily reproduce this in other spots. And in many spots, I guess easy would be the wrong word, it takes forever. But in the right spots, which would be gullies and stuff, they grow really pretty quickly. And I can imagine trying to grow them in places where it's easier to harvest the culms, the little shoots, as food. I don't know why I think they're called culms. But so that's a totally useful bamboo. I could also give that to people who have places they live that have more water than mine does. So this is the other bamboo right here. And this is called fishing pole bamboo, golden bamboo. The first thing people always tell you when you talk about bamboo is, oh, it's invasive, it's going to take over. Well, that's not really true. That's a clumping bamboo up there, the big timber one. And I'd like to get other types of bamboo. And also create places that I direct water to, either as lakes or part of the year they're lakes, but then around them or in them be growing bamboo that wants more water, and get even better bamboo than that. Bamboo is super useful. I knew the guy David Farrelly, who wrote the Bamboo Book. I think it was called The Bamboo Book. And he lived the rest of his life off the royalties from that one book, which does make me wonder why I give all my information away for free. Because if I monetized any of it, then I would have enough money to at least live a simple, easy life off the royalties. I just really want information to be free, though. I'm hardcore enough about that I might die thinking that. So anyway, this bamboo it does grow by roots. So this runners, I guess, it's a running bamboo as opposed to a clumper. And we're actually going to start harvesting pieces of this in here and putting them in buckets to give them time to grow and make sure their roots are all happy. And then I can give that to people or sell it with a massive warning that this is a potentially dangerous bamboo. But they could then plant that in a place that was surrounded by cement, and the roots were controlled, wasn't going to damage anything. And these poles are actually highly useful. And I haven't used them for a lot. There was a festival once where we stripped off the leaves except on the top, and then we put a little ribbon up there and people could wave them around, and so they were just kind of a toy. And that was fine. And they're called fishing pole bamboo because you could use the bigger ones as a fishing pole. So why not make some fishing poles? That's another activity. And we could go fishing. We could make our own fishing poles, get some fishing line and some lures or bait, hooks and stuff, and go fishing with these bamboo poles. It'd be really cool. Because right now I don't have a lot of use for them. I've also thought it'd be cool to harvest some and then weave them together into kind of a structure that you could then put up and then cover with leaves and have some shade there. It would be fully organic, and I could even do that in here, or have it be connected to trees or something. I don't know. You can suggest other uses for this bamboo. They are like little tubes, so I could cut pieces of it and make straws. With the bigger one, I could actually make glasses, like shot glasses, out of pieces of it. I have a wooden wind chime that's made of bamboo, and it makes a pleasantly low-sounding thuddy noise that sounds nice, and they're all cut to the right length so that the sounds are in tune with each other. There's actually a pattern you cut of the length of different types of similarly sized tubes. I did that once and made my own wind chimes out of copper piping, and that's online. I'm sure you can find it. So that's a tale of two bamboos. I want to get more. The interesting thing about this bamboo is I put it in many places. It doesn't reproduce. It barely survives in this climate anywhere else. I mean, I have ones I put in over 10 years ago, and they're still just this barely surviving little stand of bamboo. But this one is downslope from this roof. And so it's grown all over this whole area. I don't mind that because I can control it. Somewhere in between it, underneath this pine tree, which at some point we topped off, and we might do it again, I'm gonna dig out and harvest the bamboo in the middle of it. So in the middle of this bamboo grove, there'll be this kind of private spot with a little secret trail to get in there, and I'll put a few chairs in there. And very close to the main building, you'll have a spot to kind of have a little pleasant chat with just a few people. So I see this as another way of sculpting the forest, using living materials as a useful tool. The timber bamboo in particular, it's very hard to get through that. And so that could become part of creating living fences. If I built this around a place I want to keep horses or donkeys or something, then it would become a fence very, very slowly. So, but cheaply, with natural materials and providing shade and providing habitat. I don't know if there's birds' nests in that or not, but if I was a bird, I would check that out as potential housing. It is dense up there. That's really dense. So, yeah, I should do that. I should join the Bamboo Society. I should invite Bamboo Society people out here to vacation, and in exchange they can bring me bamboo, and I need to get bamboozled.